As always, just make sure that you're moving at your own pace today. I know we're still in a high anxiety, high stress situation. So we're going to start with a really full warm up today to help calm the nervous system, help reset, and then we'll get going. So we'll take a little bit longer to get rolling today. But yeah, just encouraging you to, even more so than normal, to really listen to your body, not just today, but for the next few days through the weekend, until we have some more answers. Okay. All right. Let me scoot in here. Okay. So we'll come to a grounded position of some sort. Feet either on the floor or the base of your chair. All right, we'll close the eyes. We'll start by finding the breath. Feel free to have either your hands on your belly or one hand on the belly, one hand on the chest, just whatever feels comfortable. And then just inviting you to drop into your breath and seeing if you can sink that breath a little bit deeper into your low belly, into your sit bones, maybe even all the way down into your feet. Connected to your iPhone and Rachel. Sorry, got a speaker going off. Hang on. All right, and then we'll find that body scan coming from your head to your toes. And you're just noticing what in the body feels good to you today. So what feels warmed up or loose or maybe pain-free? What parts of your body do you sense are holding tension? I know a lot of us right now are holding tension maybe in the stomach because we're holding our breath, we're anxious, maybe in our neck, our jaw, our shoulders. So just seeing if you can breathe through that and kind of let that tension settle. And then what parts of your body feel a little extra sticky? And for this today, I'm going to have you place your hands over the parts of your body that feel sticky. So I've got a hand on a shoulder and one hand on my stomach. But wherever feels kind of tight or uncomfortable for you today, I just want you to place one or two hands over those areas. And I just want you to direct your energy and your thoughts towards those areas. Think of breathing into that space. Visualize that space moving with freedom, whatever that looks like for you. Visualize your breath moving that area. Let go of any extra tension that you have in those places. Feeling the weight of your body on the chair or on the floor. And then I'll have you set your intention for class today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Okay. We're just going to start with some neck work today. So I'm going to have you grab the back of your neck, looking down at your belly button. And you can use knuckles here too. And as you look up towards the ceiling, you'll pull and traction your hands, sliding along the sides all the way to the front of your neck, finishing at your collarbone. So fingertips to the collarbone. Hold that right there. Slide the lower jaw forward. Look up with your eyes as far as you can, up and back behind you. And then we'll reset. Looking down, grabbing the back of the neck, tractioning the hands forward to the collarbones. Lower jaw forward, eyes go up and back. Couple more times. Looking down. You can even find a little bit of a rounding through your upper spine. Grabbing the back of the neck. Lifting the head, the neck, the chest. Lower jaw forward, eyes go up. And last one. Back of the neck. Looking down. Dragging the arms forward as you look up. I'm gonna have you keep your hands on that area just under the collarbones or your knuckles, pulling and tractioning that skin down. I'm gonna have you pull a little bit more from your left side and go ahead and tilt your head to the right. You can even play around with where your hand is pulling that skin. Maybe it's pulling more towards your sternum, the center of your chest. Maybe you're pulling more towards the shoulder or the outside part of the collarbone. So play with where your hand is, just kind of explore there. And then back to the center. Now tractioning more from the right side of the chest, head tilts left. And again, just playing with how you're pulling, where you're pulling, how that feels on your neck, how that feels maybe going all the way up to your ear. Yep, and then we'll do one more each side. So switching back to the first side. Maybe finding a different angle. Maybe even tilting your head back just at a slightly different angle. Just experiment with that. Notice what feels good for you here. And then going back to the other side. And same thing, find just a slightly different angle with your head, with your pulling. And then back to the center. Okay. We'll shake the hands and the shoulders and the arms out. And then we'll just find our knocking on the door of life. So just a rotation, a swinging arm rotation. Opposite hand taps the low back as it spins behind you. And see if you can breathe down into your low back. So where you're tapping your hands on your back or on the sides of your ribs, I want you to try to fill that area of your back with your inhale. Yeah, and if you can do this standing, this is a nice one to do standing. Okay. And then coming back to the center, we'll bring both arms up overhead, spreading the fingers if you can. Go ahead and interlace if you're able to. Remember, hands can come to a cross arm position in front of the chest if you'd like. Taking a side bend to the left. You're just gonna hold that for a second. We're gonna roll down towards the ground, through the center, and then coming up on your right side. So stay in a right side bend. Yep. And then you're gonna go down towards the ground again, through the center, and coming to that left side bend. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhaling to roll through. Exhale back to a side bend. Inhaling to roll through. Exhale, side bend. One more each time. Inhale through. Exhale, side bend. Nice, everybody, that looks great. Inhale through. Exhale, side bend. Slide the hands behind the head, come to a seated upright position. You're gonna lift your head and neck and chest up towards the ceiling. And then you're gonna try to touch your nose right to the center of your chest. So you're just rounding your upper back. Don't go into a full roll down. And then you're gonna lift everything up towards the ceiling, open the elbows, inhale. And then exhale, rounding the upper back, closing your elbows. So your elbows are kind of hugging your head. And breathe into that area right in between your shoulder blades. Good. Opening up towards the sky. And then closing inward. And if you're standing, you could be bringing this into a full squat when you come down. And just moving through that at your own pace. Opening and closing Mm-hmm. And we're going to bring some faces into this now. So when you open, I want you to open your jaw, make your face really big, take up space. And then when you get small, I want you to make those kissing lips. So kind of puckering together. When you get big, open the jaw. You can even add an ah, and then get small, kissing lips. One more time, get big, open the jaw. You can stick your tongue out if you'd like. And then get small and kissing lips. Okay, good. We'll release the hands, giving everything a little shake again. Okay, we'll bring fingertips back to that area just under the collarbones, finding that tapping in that area. Let's add our humming. Whatever note that you've been humming with, I want you to change it today. So if you've been doing a maybe you go higher or maybe you go lower. Just a different vibration, just challenging your voice in a different way. So just making it different. Remember, you're trying to go all the way to the end of your exhale, breathing in only through your nose, and then repeating that. Yeah, maybe just doing one more hum. Good. And we'll go right into some body tapping. So picking an arm, whatever arm you'd like to start with. Do whatever feels good for you today. You're going to tap, going down the outside and up the inside. Today, let's give a little extra rub through the fingers. So when you get to that hand, if you can, just give it a little squeeze, or you could press it against your lap if squeezing is hard, and then come back up the inside. So when you get to the hand, just a squeeze to the fingertips, to the nails, go all the way out through the end of the nails. Maybe just giving each finger a couple of twists, maybe a rub, and then coming back up the inside. Yep, just applying some pressure to those areas, waking up the hand, maybe even scratching the palm. We'll go right into the other side. Same thing on this side. Our body naturally likes compression. Our muscles and our connective tissue really like compression. It's kind of like a sponge. When you squeeze everything out of a sponge and then you release it again, it can fill with new fluids and new water. Our body kind of works in a similar way. When we compress, release, whether it's in the hand or through the rest of the body, we're squeezing out, we're pumping all of the fluids, and then new fluids can come in through that area. So giving some compression to the fingertips, which is where some of your meridians end, and to other parts of your body can be really helpful to keep things moving, especially things being your lymph system. Okay. We'll come to your back, giving just a really gentle tap to the low back, just saying hello to the kidneys. You can bring that to the sides of the ribs if that feels good. And then we'll come to the stomach and we'll find that clockwise circle. Yeah, and if you've been doing this one a while and you feel good, slowing that clockwise circle down and pressing in, sinking your hands in a little bit deeper into that abdominal area. Noticing if there's any tender or tight spots. Holding, pausing, breathing into that as you're applying pressure to that area. Yeah. Making sure you're not holding your breath here because this can be uncomfortable for some people. You might hear some stomach sounds. Okay. And then coming to the legs, same idea, we'll tap going down the outside. I want you to pause each time you go down if you're able to reach your feet and if you're not wearing shoes or socks. Give a little twist or squeeze to your toes. And then you'll come back up the inside of the legs. So just combining the toes and the feet and the legs. If you have shoes on, you can just be squeezing your lower legs. If that's too hard, you can just stay in the upper leg area. So whatever's accessible to you. We'll take some time here, so just slowly working your way through. You can use that same squeezing and releasing method down by the ankles or the feet if that feels good. Listening to your body. What areas don't move or don't jiggle or wiggle quite as well as the other areas? Okay. Maybe working your way all the way back up. Coming to the tops of your legs, so your thighs. Just finding a little pattern there, getting the whole top part of the thighs. Okay, nice everyone. So let's just sit with that for a second. You can close your eyes if you'd like. And just noticing if the body's feeling any different. Good, let's take our hands. We'll cup our palms over our ears. You're just gonna hold that for a second. Just kind of tuning out all of the sounds. And then you'll grab the top part of your ear, knuckles or fingers, pulling gently, gently the ears up and back behind you. And then grabbing your earlobes, pulling down and back behind you. And then grabbing your whole ear, however that makes sense for you. I like to put my pointer fingers kind of more inside my ear, and then wiggling the ear in a full circle. Maybe just do 4 circles in one way and 4 circles in another way. Just gentle. Remember, when you feel the skin tugging back, that's about as far as we want to go for this one. Okay. All right, one last thing here, just to wake up all of our nerves. We'll give our head a good scratch or a good rub. Finding your breath as you do this. Wiggling the scalp around. Are you able to wiggle that scalp? Where does your scalp not wiggle? Remember, we have connective tissue that comes all the way up from the sides, the front, and the back of the body. That goes up and over the scalp. So when we do this, we're not just on skin and bones, we're on connective tissue that affects your neck, your chest, all the way down through your body. So this is a good area to give love to for a lot of reasons. Okay, nice everyone. Let's do our quick check-ins here, and then we'll come back to a little bit more spinal and joint mobility. But just as a brief check-in, so let's start with a few overhead arm raises, just noticing how that's feeling today. Noticing ease and speed and range of motion. And then we'll find our shoulder internal and external rotation, so goalpost arms moving up and down. Good. And then we'll move the neck a bit, so just the head and the neck looking to the left and looking to the right. Noticing how that's feeling for you today. And then tilting the head left and right. I know we did a good stretch earlier, so this hopefully feels a little bit looser. And we'll find thoracic rotation, so arms out in front, palms facing each other, rotating left and right. Noticing how that's feeling. If you're a standing athlete, you could be doing sit to stands or single leg balance. Or if you're on the floor, you could be trying push-ups or bridges, even maybe balancing on your tiptoes. That's another good balance challenge. Yeah, anything like that. Okay, so let's maybe start with the wrists. So moving, if you're able to move the fingers, moving the fingers and the wrists just in a circle one way. So the fingers open as they lift and they close a little bit as you point down. Yeah, that's a great question. I just got a question saying, what does sticky mean? I use the word sticky, so switch directions with your wrist circles if you haven't already. I use the word sticky because I use the word sticky interchangeably with tight or tense or restricted. I kind of use all of those words together. Most people are familiar with the word tight. Which on a very technical fascial level, I don't like to use the word tight because that's not actually what's going on with the tissues. So I use it because that's the word of communication that people really understand. Language is important with this kind of stuff. So I use the word sticky just meaning it's tight, meaning there's not freedom, range of motion kind of feels like you can't get a full range of motion. Maybe there's even some discomfort, maybe even some pain with a certain movement. So sticky just meaning like, my arms should be able to go higher than this, or I feel like when I rotate, I get kind of stuck because this area of my low back kind of catches. So yeah, I use the word sticky to describe anything in that category. It's kind of a general overarching word. That's a great question. Alrighty, let's find some elbow circles. So just circling the wrists around the elbows. Yeah, you can bring the shoulders into that too. And then we'll bring that right into arm circles. Let's have both arms mirroring each other. So moving up, behind you, and in front. Let your ribs and your shoulders move with you. Yeah, one more. Okay, good. And then you're going to give me a stop sign. So hands out in front of you, elbows straight, fingers up. Yep. And again, just rounding through your upper back, like you're pushing something really heavy in front of you. So rounding through the upper back. And then you're going to pull the arms back behind you, open the chest, and pinch the shoulder blades together. Really actively pinch. Good. Push that heavy object in front of you, rounding just the upper spine. And then arms behind you, squeeze the shoulder blades. Yep. Pushing in front. Inhale. And then opening behind you, exhale. Good. Last one, push in front, inhale. Open behind you, exhale. Okay. We're going to do just a few more neck movements. So bringing in, I don't know if these are 80 dance moves, whatever, you'll know what I'm talking about. So just moving your head, similar to how we do a rib translation, where just the ribs glide left and just the ribs glide right. You're going to be doing that, but just from the head. So I'm actually going to scoot in here. It's a small movement. If you have a fusion or hardware in your neck, this might not be super accessible to you, but you're gliding your head from left to right, keeping the chin and keeping the chin and the whole head parallel to the floor. So it's not a head tilt, but a glide. Call this a lateral translation of the neck. Noticing coordination can be an issue here. Some people find their neck is going in funky directions. But also just noticing, is it harder to glide the neck in one way as opposed to the other way? I definitely have a harder way. Yep. Okay. Now, as we do that, can we start to bring the ribs into it? So head's going to glide left, then ribs are going to glide left. Head goes right, ribs go right. Head left, ribs left, head right, ribs right. So I want, oops, messing up here. So I want your ribs to follow your head. Yeah, and these are all really subtle movements. Remember, I care less about how big this movement is than I do about if you're doing it right or not. So you might only be going back and forth a centimeter or an inch, and that's totally okay. We're just mobilizing these areas that probably don't get moved very often. Okay, awesome. We're gonna go more in the forward back plane. So I want you to find what I call a pigeon head. So I'm gonna give you my profile. So gliding the head forward, again, keeping the head parallel with the floor, and then gliding it back and giving yourself a double chin. How many double chins can you get? Triple chin, quadruple chin, gliding forward and back. Like a pigeon moving its head forward and back. This one is usually easier for folks. Just gonna watch people here. Yeah, really make sure to give yourself that double chin when you pull it in. Forward, back, forward, back. Okay, awesome, awesome. Okay, so we're gonna bring some movement into this now. So you're gonna, let's see which way I want you to do this. We're gonna reverse this from what we did a few weeks ago. I want you to give yourself a double chin and lean forward as far as you can. You can use the hands on your lap if you need to. Otherwise, let's bring arms out into a T. Yeah, palms facing down. So you're tucking your chin. I want you to imagine like you had, what's small? Oh gosh, I don't know. You had a cherry and you were trying to keep the cherry squished between your chin and your neck. And then you're gonna pull back. You're gonna lean back if you're able to, if you don't have the back of a chair behind you. Otherwise, you're just gonna point your chest up at the sky. And then you're gonna glide the head forward, like that forward part of the pigeon head. Yep. You're gonna lean your whole body forward, give yourself that double chin. Keep that cherry between your neck and your throat. And then you're gonna lean back as far as you can or point your chest up towards the ceiling. And you're gonna glide your head forward. Yep, lean forward, pull the head back, double chin. Lean back, chin forward. Lean forward, chin back. Lean back, chin forward. Yeah, and I want you to keep moving through that. If you can pick up the pace, pick up the pace. You can make this movement as big or as small as you're able to. Yeah, just throwing some coordination at you because I'm having your torso move and your neck move. So you've got to think about both. Just do one more in each direction. And then coming back to the center. Nice, everyone. Okay, let's give a little bit of a wiggle and a little bit of a shake. We'll just do one more thing with rotation here, and then we'll do some letter ball. So let's bring both arms together out in front of you. We're gonna do some book openers. So left hand is gonna glide along the right hand, right forearm, right upper arm, right chest. And I'm gonna open and rotate to my left. How to think about that one. So you're in this rotated position. One hand is in front of you, one hand is reaching back behind you, and then you're gonna close the book, taking the hand, sliding it across the chest, the arm, the forearm, the hand. Yeah, and if this position is kind of hard to hold, you can also just keep your hands down your lap and do a similar A similar book opener, just with your hand lower. Okay, same thing. So opening that book, gliding along forearm, chest, opening and rotate, and then back to the center. I'm going to layer on with each one. You could take it or leave it. Keeping your mouth closed, open and rotate, open that book up, poke your tongue into the left side of your cheek, like you're trying to puncture your cheek with your tongue. Hold that. Can you rotate a little bit further? Don't force anything too much, just see if it's there. And then back to the center. 3 more on this side. Open the book, rotate. Tongue into the side of the cheek. Eyes go with you. Is there more rotation? And then back to the center. And 2 more. Open the book, tongue into cheek. Eyes go with you. And center, you've got 1 more. Open the book, rotate, tongue into cheek, and then center. Good. Give the arms a break and a shake. And then we'll do the other side. Arms out in front of you, palms touching. Open the book, gliding along the hand, forearm, upper arm, chest, rotate. And then back to the center. Just a reminder here, because I do this too, when you rotate, don't hold your breath. It's really easy to forget to breathe when you're in a rotated position. So really be mindful that you take maybe a couple of inhales when we're rotated. Okay, adding in the tongue. So you're going to open the book and rotate. Tongue into the right side of your cheek. Can you rotate a little bit further? Breathe. And then back to the center. Open the book and rotate. Tongue into cheek. Eyes go with you. Take an inhale. And then exhale, center. Let's do 3 more. Open the book and rotate. Tongue to cheek. Inhale. Exhale to center. 2 more, I think. Open the book, rotate, tongue, inhale, and center. You've got 1 more. Yep. Open and rotate, inhale, and back to the center. Yeah, awesome. Nice, everyone. Okay. Oh, goodness. I'm going to have you grab your letter ball or your ball-shaped object of some sort. Extra long warm-up today. Okay, so when you're ready, let's see, I was going to do this differently today, and I just blanked out. Darn it. Okay, I'll remember. When you're ready, go ahead and just start by playing normal letter ball like you normally do. If there's anyone new joining us, and I don't know if there is, but I'm just going to talk through this one more time. So holding that ball into the chest, you're going to pull it away from your body, anywhere around your body, doesn't matter where. You're quickly going to look at the ball, say the letter or the number, the first letter or number that you see, and pull it back into your chest. Pull it away from your chest at a different angle, say the first letter or number you see, cue, and then bring it back in. Okay, so you're just trying to do that as quickly as possible, targeting your eyes on a specific letter or number, and then pulling it back in. Yeah, if you're able to play catch with yourself, you're going to stop it at different angles all around your body. You can bounce it off of the floor. You could bounce it off of a wall. You could play with a partner. You could throw it from one hand to the other. So I just want you to play this for a little bit, and then I'm gonna layer on here. Just make sure people are getting this. Yeah, nice, everybody. Making sure that you're not avoiding any areas of your body. A lot of us avoid bringing that ball directly overhead. We'll bring it off to the right and off to the left, but we often avoid this overhead, which is really hard for a lot of us because our eyes don't often have to do that. So make sure you're getting those angles that maybe you sometimes unconsciously ignore. Okay. Okay. I'm going to change this just a little bit. As you move this around your body now, so I typically have you throwing and catching or moving it where your eyes look at the ball only right when you catch it. Now what I want you to do is try to keep your eyes on a certain number or letter, even if the ball is spinning, even if you're not throwing it, but you're pulling it away from you and you're kind of maybe rotating it out as you pull it in and out. So I might see 4 or 5 different numbers as I'm throwing it or as I'm pulling it away from your body, maybe with a little bit of spin in it. So this is harder for the eyes because it's kind of this moving target now of, instead of just looking at it when I catch it and finding a letter or number, I want you to try to say maybe 4, and you won't say this, but you could think it in your head, 4 or 5 numbers that you see. Can you track all of those numbers and letters when it's moving quickly around you? And remember, if you're pulling it away from your body, you can just be doing a twisting motion with the ball. So you're still seeing a handful of letters and numbers. Okay, so it's just a little bit more challenging for your eyes to track. And I'm curious if anybody will notice that difference. For those that are blind or visually impaired, you're just going to continue to do the same letter ball, really just making sure that you're hitting all of those angles around you. I often find that doing this one sometimes makes me a little, just a little nauseous. So just as a reminder, as we do the visual vestibular work, because I think I forgot to say this in the beginning of class, if you feel dizzy or nauseous, that's totally fine. It just means you've met your edge. So take a break, you can close your eyes and grab some water, because this one is definitely harder for the eyes. Okay, maybe just do 3 or so more throws. And then we can set that letter ball down. Okay. Let's do our check-in just one more time here. So we'll start with the overhead arm raise. Comparing to the beginning of class, notice if anything has changed for better, for worse, for the same. Good. Finding internal, external rotation with the shoulders. That one got better. Let's see, finding cervical rotation. So turning just the head and the neck left and just the head and the neck right. And then tilting the head left and right, noticing if that changed for you at all. If you're a standing athlete, oh, we forgot, sorry, thoracic rotation. So hands out in front of you, rotating left and right. Well, that one got a little better. If you're a standing athlete, you could be doing sit to stands or anything on a single leg, going up on your toes, push-ups, bridges, whatever works for you. Okay, go ahead and relax. Let's grab just one of your pencils. We're going to start with pencil push-ups, and then we'll go into some saccades jumping back and forth. Okay, so just as a reminder, for those of you that can clearly see the pencil without glasses, you can remove the glasses if you'd like, otherwise keep them on, no worries. Holding that pencil out at arm's length in front of you, find a particular point on that pencil, bringing it all the way as close into your eyes as you can, keeping it right between your eyes. Once you start to see 2 pencils, you'll pull it away again. Okay. If you can get all the, and by the way, it's okay if the pencil goes blurry. It should go blurry, but we only want to see one pencil as we pull it in. If you start to see, or if you can pull it in all the way to your nose and only see one pencil, I'm going to have you start to move your head around at different angles, to the left, to the right, tilting to each side as you do this. So you're basically doing a pencil push-up, but your head and your head and that pencil are kind of just moving in a wave-like motion around you. That's only if you only see one pencil pulling into your eye. It's just adding an extra challenge in. If you still see two pencils, keep your head steady. For those that are blind or visually impaired, I'm just gonna have you go right into some vestibular work if you'd like. So crossing, actually, let's do it from the head today. You can cross the arms over the chest, but I'm gonna have you just move more from your head. So as if you were drawing a circle with your head on the ceiling. So just circling the head around, maybe 4 to 6 circles in each direction. Remember, the more and quicker you move and the bigger that movement is, the harder it is. So you might get dizzier quicker. So just moving at your own pace there. Yeah. And when you're doing the pencil push-ups, maybe just doing 5 more of those. Yeah, that looks great, everybody. We'll grab, yeah, see some head shakes. Okay, we'll grab both pencils now. Remember, your thumbs work fine for this if not. Both pencils, head and nose stay pointing forward, so just your eyes are moving. Holding the pencils at arm distance height on the right and the left side. So I want those pencils close so that you can jump your eyes back and forth between the two tips as quickly as possible. Remember that this should be in focus now, so I don't want this to be blurry. So just moving as quickly as you can. If you're able to widen the pencils without moving your head, then do that. And now I want everyone to slowly close the pencils together so that your eyes jumping back and forth become quicker and easier, and then slowly pull those pencils away. Okay, so you're just going to be alternating between those, between opening the arms and closing the arms, jumping the eyes back and forth quickly from side to side. For those that are blind or visually impaired, I'm going to have 2 pencils directly on the side of your body, and your whole head and neck are going to rotate to point your nose at one pencil, point your nose at the other pencil. Okay, so it's just more of a full cervical rotation. Otherwise, you're doing the, so these are called saccades. That's the term for it. So otherwise, you're doing the saccades as the pencils are coming in and as they're going away from each other. Okay, bear with me. We're just going to do one more here. Bring the pencils up and down. So now you're going to be bringing the pencils vertically. That's it. And then back together. Same idea with the saccades, back and forth with the eyes. For those that are blind or visually impaired, you're going to have 1 pencil above your head, 1 pencil down at your lap, and you're going to be finding a full nod with your head, pointing your nose at the top pencil, pointing your nose at the bottom pencil. Yeah, that one is for my folks that are blind or visually impaired. Otherwise, you're just moving your eyes. Just watching people here. Mm-hmm. Good. Do a couple more. Go ahead and take a break. We'll place those pencils down. Good. Let's just give one more little shake. I'm going to have you close the eyes. We'll find a slow, heavy roll all the way down. Find your breath into the back of your ribs. And then slowly pull yourself back up. Good. We can keep the eyes closed. We'll drop back into the breath and the body. Just noticing if anything feels different for you. Can you bring your hands to those same 2 spots we did in the beginning of class, where you were noticing some tension, tightness, stickiness, any of that? And just notice if those 2 areas feel different for you right now. Go ahead and think of one thing you're grateful for today. We'll take one more inhale, one more exhale, and we'll open the eyes. Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for joining today, everyone. I'm going to scoot in. Before folks unmute, we just want to give another shout out to Move United. They're also sponsoring this Thursday class. So thank you, Move United, for the continued sponsor. If anyone has a question, I'll be on. You can feel free to unmute yourself. And just a reminder that, again, as we move through these next few days, to really try, especially when you're feeling stressed out, especially when things are tense, to find your breath again. Coming back to your breath in your belly is not just a mechanical thing. It actually calms the nervous system. It brings you back into your rest and digest nervous system, which can be super helpful with everything going on right now. So yeah, just a reminder, take care of yourself, take care of your bodies, your loved ones, your communities, and we'll get through this. Okay, thanks for joining, everyone. Have a great weekend. Fingers crossed, and we'll see y'all next time.
I have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
Mine is more observation